Now we introduce the term of pressure. So here we talk about absolute pressure, gauge pressure, vacuum pressure. When we talk about absolute pressure, it means we include the atmospheric pressure inside. When we talk about gauge pressure, it means we exclude, we don't include the atmospheric pressure. It means we just talk about the difference. So for example, you have a ball, inside 3 bars, outside atmospheric pressure 1 bar. So the difference is 3 minus 1, 2 bar. That 2 bar, we call it gauge pressure. So I repeat, if you have a ball with absolute pressure 3 bar, and the atmospheric pressure is 1 bar, for example, the difference is 3 minus 1, we call it gauge pressure. Now vacuum, suppose the pressure inside a bottle, not a ball, because ball is not rigid. A bottle, inside a bottle, the pressure is, for example, half bar, 0.5 bar. Outside, for example, is 1 bar. So it means the pressure inside the bottle is smaller than outside. The difference is negative 0.5. So that negative 0.5, we call it vacuum. So if you have the delta positive, we call it gauge. If you have the delta negative or negative gauge, we call it vacuum. In terms of formula, the gauge pressure, P gauge, is absolute pressure minus atmospheric pressure. Vacuum is ATM minus absolute. So it means P absolute, if you put the atmospheric to the left, P absolute equal to P gauge plus P atmosphere. Suppose that if we draw using a diagram, if we have atmospheric pressure here at this level, if the pressure of your system is higher, then the difference between the atmospheric to your pressure, which is this one, we call it gauge. But if you start from the datum, the reference line, from this point up to the pressure of your system, this one we call it total pressure. Okay. On the other hand, if your system pressure is lower than atmospheric, the difference here we call it vacuum, and the absolute here is lower than atmospheric pressure. Why we call it vacuum cleaner? Because that cleaner produce lower pressure. So that lower pressure create suction effect. Throughout this text, the pressure P will denote absolute pressure unless specified otherwise. So from now on, when you see the letter P, that is absolute. If you want to say gauge, you are going to write P gauge. A vacuum gauge connected to a chamber reaches 40 kilopascal at a location where the atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascal. Determine the absolute pressure in the chamber. So here the atmospheric pressure is given 100 kilopascal. And we said that there is a vacuum gauge 40 kilopascal in a chamber. So it means the pressure inside that chamber is 40 kilopascal below the atmospheric pressure, which means the absolute pressure in the chamber, it will be 60, because 60 is 40 lower than 100. The explanation is here.